Okay, one of the questions I get asked most frequently is how often do I need to reapply a wax to my car? There is no set answer for that because a lot of it is based on the environment that your car is in. In my case, I'm in Northeast Ohio. I've got no heavy industry in the area. The rain is clean. There's no soot fallout, none of that. So even a car that sits outside 24/7, the protection will last a little longer than a car who sits in like the Southwest with 100+ degree temperatures, constant sun and heat, or an area with industrial fallout or things like that. Now, based on my last video, which was the 3-week update for the ceramic graphene paste wax on my wife's car, at the 3-week mark, with about 2.5 weeks of fairly heavy off and on rain, a lot of driving, it had started to show some deterioration. But that, again, is my environment. There was no tree sap on it. There was no bird droppings, just 3 weeks of rain, water being splashed up by the tires onto the sides of the car. So it did show some degradation, just a little bit though. So if you live in the Northeast Ohio area or an area with similar environmental conditions, I would recommend every 4 weeks top off your protection. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that on my wife's car. I'll be using the graphene, the hybrid solution ceramic spray coating, mainly because I've got quite a bit of this stuff. It's a touch easier to use than the Flex Wax, but the main reason is I've got 3 full bottles and I need to do something with it. Okay, so I've already wiped the car down, did a waterless wash with the 3-in-1 ceramic detailer, so it's all ready to apply the wax. Now I have changed a few things since I got the Camaro back, and with black you're able to see everything. And I was able to see just how much of this product I was actually using and why it was a touch difficult even with the damp towel, dry towel method of removal. So I've changed my applicator material. I went from a foam pad cover, microfiber covered foam pad, to a small, thin, moderately absorbent microfiber cloth. Now, instead of 2 or 3 panel sprays per application, for half, 3/4 of this hood, I will use 2. Just 2, even that, and that's even priming the cloth for the first time. And I will go over it 3-4 times just to make sure it's evenly and completely spread. I will demonstrate that, but I'm not going to bore you with making me watch the whole thing. So I'll come back with a few thoughts once I'm done. Okay, I got you set up a little different. Here's my brand new dry, clean microfiber cloth. I've got the ceramic spray coating all shook up. Put the towel out here. 2 sprays, that's it. And I like moving in straight lines, front to back. I'm going sideways like this because it's easier with the camera position. But just go over each area. You can see the wax going on the car. And using so little, you can actually see it almost flash off or clear. It looks like there's nothing there, but trust me, there is. I've got, I'd say probably 1/3 of the hood with those two sprays. It's starting to get really thin now, so I'll add two more sprays. And once again, nice, even, straight line strokes. And this time I got the entire half of the hood. It's well and evenly coated. Didn't miss any spots. And since I'm using it so sparingly, there are only a few streaks, I guess you could call them, left, showing that there is wax on the panel. That's all you need. I just did this to my Camaro this morning. Same exact thing. And the towel, once I was done with the whole car, was slightly damp, but it was not damp enough to need wrung out. So I didn't use much of this at all. So it looks like these 3 bottles that I have are going to last quite a while. So I will complete the car. I'll pull it out, give you a look at how it looks. It's not going to look much different because it still looks quite well from the original compounding and ceramic graphene paste wax. So I'll get this done, show you the after shots, and end with a few final thoughts. Okay, here it is all finished. The wax protection has been topped off with the ceramic spray coating. And of course, it's going to rain. That's why there's no sunlight picks. But you can still see the depth and gloss has been improved by the addition of the ceramic spray coating. Now, I was saying before, people ask, how often should I wax the car? That's going to entirely depend on the environment you're in, what kind of things, fallout, contaminants, whatever lands on your paint, and how aggressive it is against the wax or sealant that you have on there. Like I said, where I'm at, it's not very aggressive. So the only way that you can tell is by washing the car at least once a week and keeping tabs on the water beading and sheeting. As long as it still moves fairly quickly, beads up real tight, water runs off, do a flood rinse. Most of the water should run off the car, leaving it almost completely dry. When that starts to slow down, that's the time to start thinking about a topper such as the ceramic spray coating. My base layer is the ceramic graphene paste wax. It started to show signs of failure at 3 weeks, which, like I said, it was a rough 3 weeks. A lot of rain, a lot of driving, a lot of spray from the tires on the sides. So it was starting to show some signs of degrading. So in order to keep the protection at its highest, to protect the paint its best, at 3 weeks, I decided to go ahead and top it. I could have gone 4 easily, but I had the time today. I was bored. So I pulled the laptop into the garage, put in an old movie on YouTube, and just played it as background noise while I relaxed and cleaned the car and recoated it. So there is no definitive answer that once a month, every 2 months, every 3 months you should reapply the wax. It's all going to be individual based on where you live, what wax you're using, and the water behavior of that wax during the rinse after a wash. If it still beads up tight and during a flood rinse it goes right off, you're good to go. But when it starts to slow down, that's when you think about using the spray wax or a topper to boost protection back to where it should be, to keep the paint protected from the fallout. Let the wax take the hit and keep the paint safe. That's what the wax is for, is to take the hit from the environment and the elements and everything else to save the paint from having to do it. That also saves you from having to use an aggressive or abrasive polish. An aggressive or abrasive polish should at max be used twice a year. That's it. To clean off any old wax, any scuff marks, any swirls that might have appeared during the wash process. Twice a year, every 6 months. On a garage queen or show car, less than that, but it still needs done. Because there are some things that land on the car that a wash will not remove. A clay bar will not remove. You need an abrasive polish. So, to sum it up, just wash it once a week. Keep tabs on the water behavior, and you'll know when it's time to re-wax. Until next time, have a good one.